Welcome to today's MMA news. Let's get on to the first topic of the day. Glory champion Rico Verhoeven defends his heavyweight belt against Alistair Overeem on October 23rd. Alistair is coming off a knockout loss to Alexander Volkov, a former UFC heavyweight title challenger, versus Rico Verhoeven, the current Glory heavyweight champ, who has been unbeaten in the last 6 years. Put your predictions in the comment section below. Personally, I have Rico Verhoeven, but should be a really good fight. UFC and Pride veteran Phil Baroni has finally announced his retirement from MMA. He is now 45 years old, also known as the New York Badass. He said in a statement on Twitter, "I'm retired. My career has come to a close. Thanks to my fans for the support. It was fun. Thanks for the memories. It should have been over a long time ago. Adios, amigos," for Mexico. He's been fighting for quite a while, from way back in those Pride days, and he's finally announcing his retirement. So, thanks for the career he's had. He's had a long run, and now 45 years old, but he is now retired. Giga Chikadze expects to finish Edson Barboza in spectacular fashion and become a backup fighter for UFC 266 with Alexander Volkanovski and Brian Ortega. What do you guys think is going to happen? Will we see another Giga kick to the body or to the head? Another spectacular knockout, just like Giga Chikadze did in the last fight with Cub Swanson? Do you think he even wins the fight with Edson Barboza? It is a very 50-50 fight, but if he does win, do you think he deserves to be the backup fighter for UFC 266? And do you think the UFC is going to make that happen? I don't really know, but I do have Giga winning the fight. It's going to be very likely he wins the fight by knockout, but if that does happen and he finishes Edson Barboza, I say give him that backup opportunity. That would be absolutely insane. But Giga versus Volkanovski, Giga versus Brian Ortega, whoa, oh my god, absolutely amazing fights. But Giga wants to fight Alexander Volkanovski or Brian Ortega, absolutely insane. Pedro Munhoz open to move down to the UFC Flyweight division after his loss to Jose Aldo and to Frankie Edgar by decision. He wants to go down to the Flyweight division, and if you look at that Flyweight division, the most notable names that do pop out to me are going to be Joseph Benavidez, and that is pretty much it. I don't see him going anything lower than that. A lot of those guys are on losses right now. Joseph Benavidez, the number 5 guy in that Flyweight division, makes some pretty good sense. Joseph is a veteran in the game, looking to get back another win after losing twice to Davis and Figueiredo and then to Askar Askarov. So I think that's an amazing fight. Frankie Edgar and Joseph Benavidez, it can definitely happen. I mean, right now, at the looks of it, Pedro Munhoz, it does not look like he's going to be the bantamweight champion, so maybe he goes down to flyweight and tests his luck with these smaller fighters over there. But do you think he will move down to the flyweight division, and will he fight Joseph Benavidez, or will it be someone else? Put that in the comment section below. But crazy news right here. Davis and Figueiredo still wants a Brandon Moreno next, tells Alexandre Pantoja to wait for his rematch. Now, there's a lot of different things that can happen in the flyweight division. Of course, Davison wants the trilogy. Alexandre Pantoja technically wants his trilogy as well. He already submitted Brandon Moreno and beat him by a 30-26 unanimous decision, while Davison's coming off a loss to Moreno. So, and then we also have Askar Askarov out there, who got a draw with Brandon Moreno. So there's 3 potential matchups for Brandon Moreno. I really don't know what's going to happen next. I mean, Askar Askarov does look to be injured, so I'm not too sure if that fight's going to happen. But after the last fight with Pantoja and Royval getting another rear naked, just the same way as he beat Brandon Moreno, I would not be surprised if we see Moreno versus Pantoja. But I don't know what the UFC wants. What do you guys want to see happen? Brandon Moreno versus Pantoja versus Figueiredo, or maybe even versus Askar Askarov? What do you guys want? Put that in the comment section below, because I really have no idea what the UFC is going to do. But these matchups right here, any fight with Brandon Moreno and these 3 guys in the flyweight division, amazing fight. So we shall see what the UFC is going to do next. Damian Maia and Jimmie Rivera no longer under UFC contracts. Jimmie Rivera, I personally wanted to see him fight Pedro Munhoz, do that trilogy. Damian Maia, I mean, after the last fight with Bilal Muhammad, It's understandable. I said either fight one of the up-and-comers or just retire. It seems like he's at the end of his contract inside the UFC, so it doesn't really mean that either fighter is cut from the UFC or they're not going to be competing with the UFC. It just means that Jimmie Rivera and Demian Maia are no longer under UFC contracts. It's possible Damian and Jimmie could maybe work out a deal with the UFC, but right now, Jimmie Rivera and Damian Maia are no longer with the promotion. But if they do decide to come back, maybe fight in the UFC or Bellator, who do you think Jimmie Rivera and Damian Maia should be fighting next? Put that in the comment section below. But it's a sad day. I really love Jimmie Rivera. I mean, Damian Maia, absolute veteran of the middleweight and welterweight division, but they have been not necessarily released or cut, but their UFC contract has come to an end right now. But yeah, it's a pretty sad day for me. Paddy Pimblett calls for a future fight with Conor McGregor at Anfield Stadium in Liverpool. Paddy Pimblett has 0 fights inside the UFC. He has some pretty good grappling, pretty good wrestling as well. But fighting Conor McGregor this early, I don't know about that. But he did say a future fight with Conor McGregor. He is from UK, from England. Conor is from Ireland. This fight can definitely happen in the next couple of years. But Paddy, he is coming in on his first fight with Luigi Vendramini in just 1 week or 2 weeks time right now. But Conor versus Paddy Pimblett, who do you guys think would win the fight? And do you guys think the fight will ever be made? Personally, I'm going to go Conor McGregor probably by a knockout, but if the fight happens in a couple of years' time, maybe I'll switch my prediction. But really interesting call out from Paddy Pimblett on Conor McGregor. Dan Hooker explains why he is not going to be fighting dumbass Arman Tazarukyan at UFC 266. Hooker is going to be fighting Nasrat Haqparast in a 3-round fight on the prelims of UFC 266. Personally, I think Dan Hooker is going to win that fight, but he could have fought Tazarukyan. That fight was actually going to be, it was kind of talked about happening. Arman kind of called out Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker called out Tazarukyan, who was the 15th ranked lightweight fighter in the world. But now, of course, he's going to be fighting the Afghanistan fighter in Nasrat Haqparast on the prelims of UFC 266. He says, because he's a dumbass, we're not fighting because he is a dumbass. I argue exclusively for physical confrontation. If you ever see me standing across from someone, arguing with them is easy for one reason and one reason only, for physical confrontation. Hooker said on Middle Essay in an interview right there, this dumbass picks an argument with me. We get all the way to the end of the argument, and then I find out a week later he's already got a fight with Christos Giagos. Absolute dumbass. If you're already booked, why try to challenge me and I'm looking for a fight and you already have a fight? So it sort of makes sense. I mean, Arman chose to fight Christos Giagos while they were in the confrontation, kind of having that back and forth kind of talk and a little trash talk between each other. And then Arman just goes out there and fights Christos Giagos. He's going to win the fight. That's an easy fight for Arman. But now, of course, we got Dan Hooker and Nasrat Haqparast. But interesting situation happening here. I personally think Dan Hooker versus Nasrat is a much closer fight, a much more fan-friendly type of fight for 266, but I would also want to see Arman versus Dan Hooker. But it's a good step up. Nasrat Haqparast versus Dan Hooker on UFC 266. Really interesting things happening on that fight card right there, but and that is pretty much it for today's MMA news. If you guys liked the video, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we're going to be doing these videos every single day for all of that day's MMA news. So if you guys do not want to miss that, subscribe and turn on those post notifications so you guys do get notified for when I post new videos. Sorry about that. But thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one.